Over the past 10 years, when I started getting into ideas about spirituality, scriptures, psychological self-help, I must have read about 100 and 150 books on the topic of how to be happy. And every single book, in one way or another, it really fundamentally comes down to this one simple secret. And it's so deceptively simple that you almost feel like if somebody tells you this through a video such as this one, it sounds like a bunch of BS. There's really nothing else to do other than be present to the moment and appreciate it. That's it. Now you might say that it's easier said than done. And after all, you've got all these concerns going on, and you got bills to pay, you got all sorts of situations that you gotta address that you can't just be present and be happy or appreciate it in the moment. But I guess that's the great secret. That's the cosmic joke that the universe plays on us. We tend to fill our time with all sorts of things that we want to get to. We want to make sure that they get solved. All problems that we have, they got to get resolved. And as a result of that, from the metaphysical perspective, we simply continue to recreate the mechanism of operation and life whereby these problems continue to pile into our experience. After all, the more that we focus on problems, the more the universe delivers us situations where these problems can occur. You see, the moment that you only focus, or rather that you only allow yourself to just feel good, regardless of any circumstances around you, well, that's the moment that the universe starts to smile towards you. And you can look at it from many, many different perspectives. Let's say, for instance, that when you feel good, your frequency, your vibration, the signal that you send to the universe, it has risen. It is more whole, it's more joyful. You have the capacity to tune into this higher frequency at all times. I can demonstrate it to you right this very moment. But I'm gonna do it in reverse. I want you to think about, just for a brief moment here, please don't get carried away with this, about a time in your life where you felt like the most horrible, terrible, just the worst moment that you've experienced. Now, if you could put yourself into the reality of that situation as if it's happening right this very moment, well, you'll notice that your body starts to respond to it the very same way as if that situation was unfolding right before you right this very second. So you are able, from the moment right now, to drop into that experience and feel the emotions of that reality as if it was the case right now. There's absolutely no difference between that and the capacity of yours to do the opposite. You can always tune into the frequency state of experience whereby the emotion that you feel is elevated and closer to joy than it is to pain, anger, depression, or any of the emotions that are lower on that frequency scale. The moment that you allow yourself to feel good, something else happens. Because you're no longer identified so heavily with your physical experience, you're now able to see past your own limitation simply by feeling good. When you see past that limitation, you're also able to vibrate at the frequency of other individuals who are also experiencing that joy, that elevated emotion. And as a result of that, your frequency ranges are much, much closer, and your capacity to experience the best of them along with the best of yourself, well, it's increased. It's almost like you are at a water level that's higher and closer to the sun. If you can look at the sun as if it's a source of joy. And when you're able to get closer to that source of joy, then everybody else who's floating at the same level of awareness, they start to intersect with your reality. Or rather, you get to meet the version of those people that is also elevated with you. This creates a feedback loop whereby when you feel good, you start to meet others who are also on that frequency, and the situations that unfold before you start to prove that reality back to you, almost as if the universe smiles. And it does. The other aspect of this reality is that this almost forms a metaphysical protection layer. When you are in joy, you can't experience joy and any of the negative emotions such as fear, anger, depression at the same time. You can only focus on one frequency and broadcast one frequency at any given moment. Now, knowing that, why would you ever choose to feel anything otherwise? Even if we take some experience in your life which has caused you pain and sorrow and suffering, you don't have to continue feeling that way about it. It's just a broadcast of your emotion that you are imposing upon that experience. Now, that might have been what you had initially broadcasted upon that experience in the first place, perhaps as a result of you being really, really young and you weren't able to process that emotion properly, or perhaps that's just the manner by which you are emotionally addicted to interpret that particular experience. But none of these things have to continue. Your emotion is just a broadcast of your awareness. It's like a paintbrush that you decide to paint your reality with. Why would you ever choose the negative, contrasting version of that experience? I want to lead this into something much more important than our personal experiences of reality. And that is the collective experience. The collective experience of all human beings on this planet. If this video came across your feed and you're still watching this, chances are you're probably in one way or another interested in the generality of what I have to say. And if that's the case, then you are perfectly aware of your own situation in life and the mechanisms by which you have the capacity to use this information for your own good. Perhaps I'm not even the first one to tell this to you or to point it out. I'm merely the one to reinforce it. Or perhaps you'll need to watch many others like this one. And I'm just a step in your journey. But nevertheless, the more people resonate and the more people understand this to their core, not as a concept to hear about, but as a real experiential reality, the more individuals will be able to shift in the higher dimensions towards the higher dimensional frequencies of experience simply by assuming that your emotion and how you feel is better in every single moment. It doesn't really require you to do anything other than just believe that the next moment is going to be better than the previous. That's it. That's the secret to this universe. the corresponding structures, the physical reality that is around will always exist to reflect any potential of emotion that you can experience out of the infinite quantum soup of anything that may exist. And if that's the case, well, just choose better. And the feeling of heaven, well, it starts to gravitate towards you. And you start to live life from a new perspective. Thanks for watching.